Imagine standing in your kitchen on a Saturday morning, coffee going cold, staring at a headline on your phone. It says the average American in their mid-40s has a net worth of almost $1 million. That massive figure isn't clickbait. According to the most recent Federal Reserve data, the average household headed by someone aged 45 to 54 sits at $975,800. For normal people, that number lands like a punch in the stomach. You look at the 401k you're afraid to check, the 22 years left on your mortgage, and the unopened Parent Plus loan statement on the counter, and wonder how you fell so far behind everyone else. The reality is, you aren't the failure. That terrifying $1 million benchmark is a mathematically laundered illusion. Look at this calculation. When you compute a mean average, you add everyone's net worth together into one pot, and then divide it equally by the number of people in the room. But if one extreme outlier walks into that room carrying billions of dollars, the entire equation warps, dragging the mathematical average up with it. Put Jeff Bezos in a room with 9 broke guys, and the average net worth of that room suddenly skyrockets to about $21 billion. It is a technically true calculation that tells you absolutely nothing useful. You could average the net worth of Jeff Bezos and a raccoon in an alley, and on paper, the raccoon is a billionaire. So when financial news touts the average 45-year-old being worth nearly $1 million, they are mathematically blending a mega billionaire and a guy driving a 2014 Camry and pretending they are the exact same person. To find the actual middle class, line everyone up from poorest to richest and look at whoever is exactly in the middle. That real 45-year-old has a median net worth of $247,000. That creates an over $728,000 gap between the inflated headline and reality. Even that $247,000 figure hides a critical detail. For the typical 45-year-old, roughly 60 to 70% of their entire net worth is locked inside their house. After you subtract that home equity, they are left with only about $87,000 for retirement, emergencies, and college funds. The $250,000 net worth looks good on paper, but it provides almost zero daily security. You cannot eat drywall, and you cannot hand a grocery cashier a piece of your home's deed to buy groceries. The financial industry publishes gold standard rules stating you should have 6 times your annual salary saved by age 50. For a median earner, that's $700,000. In reality, the median 401k balance for Americans aged 45 to 54 is just over $60,000. In this breakdown of real wealth changes from 2019 to 2023, people under 40 saw wealth jump 49%, and those over 70 gained 15%. But the 40 to 54 bracket was the only group to lose ground, dropping by 7%. This demographic also carries the highest total debt load of any generation, averaging over $158,000. Their credit card balances are compounding at 21% interest, and roughly 1 in 10 is trapped under a 9% Parent Plus loan they took out for their kids. Over half of Americans in their 40s are stuck in the sandwich generation. They are splitting $6,200 monthly bills for a parent's memory care facility, while simultaneously supporting adult children whose rent is too high to survive independently. Limping into your late 40s with a fraction of the recommended savings isn't a moral failure. Maxing out a retirement account is mathematically impossible when a single paycheck is stretched across 3 generations of human survival. Staring down this math, millions of middle-aged Americans are quietly banking on the great wealth transfer, assuming an $84 trillion wave of inheritance will eventually bail them out. But end-of-life care averages $137,000 per person. Before a house or a portfolio ever transfers to the next generation, it gets liquidated month by month to pay the nursing home. The actual median inheritance for the bottom half of Americans is just $9,700. Then there is the safety net. The Social Security Trust Fund is projected to be depleted by 2035, triggering an automatic 23% cut to incoming benefits, right as the oldest Gen Xers reach full retirement age. Waiting for a heavily drained estate or a strained federal system to fix your personal math guarantees a brutal shortfall in retirement. But a 45-year-old still possesses one asset that cannot be retroactively purchased: a 20-year window of compounding growth. Hitting the financial industry's massive $1.7 million target from scratch requires saving over $3,000 a month. For a household earning the median income, extracting that much cash is a fantasy. This chart shows a different approach. Shifting an existing 401k contribution from 6 to 10% and setting up an automated IRA transfer redirects $800 to $1,000 a month into the market. Given a standard 7% return over 2 decades, that single automated decision compounds into over $500,000 by age 65. The window to build genuine security remains open. It just requires ignoring the laundered statistics, acknowledging the math directly in front of you, and turning on the compounding machine before the clock runs out.